Welcome, adventurers. What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking 20, a channel about all things role-playing games, and we are back with our 30-day Dungeons & Dragons challenge. Okay, guys, so here's the skinny. We're going to do another substitution today because day 19 was supposed to be what is your favorite elemental or plant, and nah, I'm not going to do that. So, instead, we're going to talk about villains. Let's get started. Man, villains is one of those topics that I think I could just make a bunch of videos on. I mean, heck, I've already made one that I really love about the non-villain antagonist, but I love a good villain. I think most people probably do. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about my favorite villain that I've ever come across via D&D, whether it's mine or somebody else's. And then I want to share a little spotlight on a video game villain. How about that? Let's do it like that. I want to talk about a D&D villain and my favorite villain from a video game. So my favorite villain from D&D is an old mage by the name of Maynard. Maynard was one of two villains in my Secrets of the Forgotten campaign that I've talked to you guys about before. And as far as the players know, he was never the main villain. The entire campaign, they are chasing this guy in a red cloak. They're chasing this guy in a red cloak. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Why are people dying? Where is this guy going to next? They're trying to stop this guy in a red cloak, who they eventually come to find out goes by the name of Que Deus. Now, Que Deus is not Maynard. It's not like an alias. It's a totally separate guy. So for the entire Secrets of the Forgotten campaign, my players are chasing this guy in a red hood, which they eventually come to know as Que Deus, and they're trying to catch this killer. Now, at the very end of the entire campaign, I introduce them to Maynard. Okay, now I'm going to backtrack just a little bit here. The players, while they were trying to catch Que Deus, realized that Que Deus was targeting a very specific group called the Honor Guard, which in my setting is basically an old elite unit that was specifically there to protect the king. It was kind of the king's elite guard, his green berets or his dragon blades, if you will. 20 years ago, the group got disbanded, and the players are finally kind of starting to realize that, hey, these remaining members are being targeted by Que Deus, but they can't figure out why. So they're trying to play catch up. They're piecing all of this together. This is a campaign over a whole year or so. And eventually they come to find Emirate. As far as they know, Emirate is supposed to be the only remaining Honor Guard member left alive. Well, in order to protect him, he ends up kind of joining with them as they try to investigate what is going on with the Honor Guard, trying to keep him safe in essence. And eventually their trail leads them to Maynard. But the first time the players met Maynard actually came to their aid, and he was a friend of Emirate's, and he was another Honor Guard member. This was the guy who had the remaining pieces. This was the key to solving what Que Deus was doing. In short, as you guys can expect, Maynard was always the main villain. Que Deus was just a tool. He was a pawn used by Maynard. Well, as you can imagine, eventually the players figure out that Maynard has actually been assisting Que Deus the whole time and confront him. Of course, as a dungeon master, I presented them with the chance of basically chasing him or turning and trying to stop Que Deus, who is on his way to try to kill the king. Okay, now look, I know that is a cliche plot, but sometimes cliche plots are actually good for your game, so keep that in mind. Here is why I love Maynard. Because Maynard's plot was a revenge plot, and it was a justifiable revenge plot. In essence, the corrupt king had sent the Honor Guard off to go kill a young boy, ironically Que Deus, and when Maynard and the other Honor Guard had refused, the king had them exiled. And when they were exiled, the king had a curse placed upon them that neither they nor any of their children would ever be able to return to the kingdom of Zhai. And of course, Maynard goes off, bears a child. His wife takes that child back to the kingdom of Zhai. The child, a few steps into the kingdom, bursts into boils as this curse kind of takes a hold of the child and rots his body right there in his mother's arms. That is why I love Maynard. Because a good villain is somebody that thinks they're right. But a great villain is somebody that is right. So there you go. There's the story of Maynard. It's a simple, straightforward plot, and I loved presenting this story to my players and giving them that moral gray choice. Anything that can give my players this uncertainty, that's the magic, as they say. That is a great villain. Okay, so to quickly talk about my favorite villain from a video game, I had to take the opportunity to bring up Vaas. Wow, Vaas is such a wicked character. He is so good. He is the epitome. He's the pinnacle, in my opinion, of those great classics of a villain. He is an instant classic. The voice actor for Vaas was so good that he took Vaas, who was only ever supposed to be a bit part in Far Cry 3, all the way to probably one of the most memorable characters that I've ever seen, that a lot of people have ever seen, tons of awards, and Ubisoft even made a live action series. Now, here's the deal. I will link that below, but man, a heads up. It's very, very graphic. So I just wanted to quickly mention that I love Vaas. I love the chaos of Vaas, and I love the intelligence of Vaas. He's not stupid. I love that. So, who is your favorite villain from Dungeons & Dragons? And let's talk about villains in general. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your favorite villains from movies and books and video games. Let's just make a fun list. We'll have a fun time talking about those just badass bad guys. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm putting out new videos every week on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit that subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.